it makes the science very real and connects it. It kind of takes it out of the textbook academic treatment and puts it in a real world context.
But when you have people from the outside community coming in and being like a living text, or acting as a living text and bringing that to the classroom, it brings this kind of three-dimensional experience to the classroom that the students would not necessarily get. And service learning does just that. It is this very lived experience that students feel at such a deep level, and that brings their learning to life.
You can read about the issues. You can read the material we've been reading. We can do really interesting in-class conversations, come up with all kinds of ideas, but to see it in action is such a more three-dimensional experience. It's not an abstract or just intellectual concept anymore. And that is several more layers of experience than you get by just normal classroom methods.
And they like doing the field work. I did several field trips going, starting on campus at different locations on campus, and then we would go to different sites along Tannery Brook and collect data. And ever since I've done that, I've not been able really to go back to the old way of teaching. I always had my students collect data in some form, and for my earth science courses, geology in particular, I always want to have some kind of social community science connection. And for a school our size to have really such an active program, which has been so successful, is a real jewel.
And students that maybe have been shy in other environments, this gave them such an authentic purpose for the learning and to bring all of our course outcomes together into life, that I was able to see abilities that they will have in classrooms that I don't think I would have otherwise been privy to observe until they get to their student teaching. So for me, it was just a beautiful exhibition of how giving opportunities for learning through relationships with the community, our environment, our peers, and ourselves and materials creates just such an authentic purpose for learning, and service learning served as the vehicle for that. So I couldn't be happier with the way my students showed passion for the project. It was not an assignment, it was an opportunity, and every single one of them used it as an opportunity to learn and to give. And I think the museum felt the same way, because we're already planning more projects.
I have done service learning projects for last few semesters, and I do see huge value in service learning inside our classes. I believe that students learn different ways and more natural ways for them, because they do interact with local community partners, and they learn that way a little more about their communities. They feel vested.
I think it's a lot more rewarding than any other basic class, because you're actually doing something hands-on rather than just reading about something or writing about something. It's like an actual rewarding project.
It made me more hands-on than what I possibly thought I could be for this course, so I think the service learning project actually did a really good job for both the kids in the program and for the students in the classroom, including myself.
It's really important to do projects like this, especially because this is what we're all hoping to do when we graduate, to get jobs for. So it's something that you can actually see the impact of in the community. So we're going to be helping them raise funds to provide services to the community. So we're going to actually be able to see the benefits of what we're doing.
I think maybe you work a little harder because you know it's for something real, and the deadlines are real, and the actual how it will be utilized is a real thing too.
I think it's great that we're giving back to our community locally, and to have that connection here with Ellen and the Boys and Girls Club. I think it's really great to have. It offers an experience that I don't think other schools all have.
You need need to know your course material, and you need to know how to teach it several different ways to try and get through, like doing different activities, one that engages visual and some that engage like hands-on and artistically, because everyone learns differently. I actually have thought about coming back after to do some volunteer music work with them.
Well, the hands-on experience is definitely better than the textbooks because it's more hands-on, and that's better experience of where things actually are and what things really look like. And it can be hard to get volunteers to bring their pets in just for us to practice on. So having the real world clinics where people want to bring their animal in for the services we offer makes it a big help for us.
Real person interactions, I think, is so much better than just having pictures or your professor talking to you, because you get that kind of interaction and you know what you're going to deal with. Being able to deal with real people, real problems in the world that you're going to come up with in practice. People don't have a lot of money, but they really want to take care of their pets, and you have to take that into consideration. It's not that they don't want to help their animals, they don't have enough money to help their animals. So it's good to see that we have kind of the service to help those people. It's going to give us a great step forward into going into clinics, and we know that we know how to deal with animals, we know how to handle animals, we know how to talk to the clients, and hopefully they can also give us some tips here too of what we could improve on. I think it's awesome that we get to do this. I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I can help with it.
It's definitely been eye-opening because I come from an area where we don't talk about issues like this. We don't talk about prison. We don't talk about women in prison. We don't talk about the injustice of the judicial system. So it's definitely been eye-opening to see what it's really like in there, because we only usually see it from the media and TV and movies.
You know, everybody's got their own words of writing. Everybody's different, and we don't judge anybody.
But learning with the service learning and VFI is definitely, it's a more hands-on approach, and I think it's very important that a lot more classes have it.
And I will not be a victim, not anymore.
I think it's definitely different reading about something and then actually like speaking to someone and interacting with them, and I think for me personally that sticks more.
It humanizes them and puts them literally right in front of us, and I don't want to say like we're forced to actually like look at them and consider what has happened or what happens in the judicial system, but reading about it, you can kind of read about it and forget about it and move on with your day, but seeing them, talking to them, understanding them as human beings, not just another statistic, is really important.
Yeah, they stop being numbers. I didn't know this class was a service learning class, but I'm really glad I took this class.
Our collaboration with HCC has been very important for the participants in our program. We've been able to go into the classrooms to share the work, the women share their work that they've written. They've also been able to teach students the method that we use in our writing, and in doing so, the students gain a perspective that they did not, most of them did not have before, about what are sort of the paths to incarceration, or what leads someone to become addicted. And so I think it's really, the students have said that it was very illuminating for them. But on the flip side, the women being able to share their experience and answer questions really has changed them significantly. They now will say proudly that they're educators. You know, they feel that what they have given to the students has been invaluable education. And so they actually seem to be standing even taller, feeling even more empowered as leaders in the community.
We definitely didn't know what to expect and how the youth would respond to this project. But they took to it instantly. They thought it was so cool to be talking to other youth, college students, who I think they felt like they could really connect to, and that were willing to talk to them in a way that wasn't looking down on them or treating them as, you know, kids who receive services through the Department of Mental Health. There were so many moments where I had tears in my eyes and I was like, I've never seen these kids respond in this way, and how can we do more of this? All of them now, they've been asking their kind of mentors what college is like, and more they keep coming up to me and saying, you know, I can go to college, right? We have one senior right now, and she, you know, submitted her application to HCC, plans to come in the fall, and I think just talking to these kids about that made her feel even more comfortable. This was, you know, these are some kids who don't even leave their homes sometimes because they're so anxious, and now they're thinking college. I watched change before my eyes, and just as a clinician in this field, truly it's shaped how I now am starting to approach therapy, and it's been unbelievable. So I would love to keep doing this.